Aloha, welcome. My name is Martin John. We are at Music Arts Studio number 5, downtown Spokane, under the bridge. This show is for Spokane and a food and health revolution. Kind of joking, but what we're saying is you can eat differently and be healthy, and we're not saying we know how to do it, we're just throwing some ideas out there for you. So today we're going to make wraps, vegetable wraps. Although we will put some healthy chicken in one of them because my neighbor, she needs the extra protein. This is a chalkboard for the studio. Now the studio is sponsored by this nonprofit, Philalethian1.org. They sponsor this space. Guad is a made-up word by the board in humor, but what they're saying is they combined two words, good and God, in a malapropistic way, and made it to be Guad for fun. So it is Guad. The chalkboard is a reminder, always do what you say. You know, that's a good one. And again, the theme, too busy, I don't think so. I mean, that's what I'm saying is, I think if you make that first step in eating right and taking the time, you'll find that you have plenty of time to do it. So we're going to talk about that. Rene Descartes, I think we'll talk about Rene real quickly because he was a fun character in history. And then while I'm preparing this stuff, which is semi-boring, I'll probably talk about grandma a little bit. It's a little story for you. So when we come back, vegetable wraps, and when we're done with the vegetable wraps, we're going to show you an interesting treat. Something that I only recently thought of, and wow, it's really good. Can't wait to show you. So we'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm taking a quick break. I'm going to do some yoga real quick. When someone showed me this, they said it's like a shot of espresso. And I was like, okay, but it really is. Be careful, but you can do this with practice.
Yeah.
Not very long. Make sure you stretch the other one. Make sure you look at the hands. That's enough for today. We're back. I went to the market today. All these vegetables are from the local farmers market downtown Spokane, Saturday, except for a couple things I did get at the local grocery store. So now, lemon cucumbers. Can't get them in the store. The reason is they don't last. So they're not a vegetable that can go through that process. But you can grow them yourself. Lemon cucumbers, they're literally the best burpless type of cucumber, in my humble opinion. They're wonderful. So we're gonna put these in the wrap because they were available. Now when you're choosing lemon cucumbers, generally they'll get really yellowy and hard. You wouldn't even be able to eat the skin. That means they're older. If they're fresher, this was probably picked today or yesterday, you'll see that it's not yellow yet. The skin is soft. Don't even need to remove the skin, you can eat it. So lemon cucumbers are wonderful. So while we're preparing these wraps, and we're gonna do two wraps, we're gonna do a wrap in this cabbage. This is like, when you buy a cabbage, the first couple pieces on the outside work well for a wrap, and I'll show you how to put it together where it'll last for a while. And then we're gonna use some kale. And you'll see when we do the kale wraps, they're more for eating right now. And I'll show you how you put them together so you can't eat them. Why we do this, I'm going to talk a little bit about Rene Descartes for fun. Rene Descartes, everybody remembers, he said, "I think, therefore I am." I forget that one. He actually said, if you took all the world's problems and you put them in one great big pile, everybody would take their own as their preference. When I'm feeling down, I remember that. And I think it's more true than we realize. We're so different that if we were somebody else, we would just freak out. We wouldn't even know what to do. Feeling like what it's like to be someone else, we would not be able to handle it. So you might think you have it bad. I think you would still prefer what you've got compared to what somebody else has. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is cut up the vegetables. Now I want to point out a couple things. This you may have seen before. This is the leftover from making almond milk. It's the paste. This was only made yesterday, so it's still fresh enough. I like to use it in a sandwich or a wrap because it helps hold things together. And again, I'm trying to use everything I got. Now I did make some chicken, and I'm not gonna really go into how I did that. I would do your research on how to cook chicken, making sure you're cooking it long enough. One clue I would say is that as it's cooking, the more surface area, the better. So take your utensil and just cut the pieces in half until you get them in a nice size and cook it long enough. And on this particular day, I used Bragg's liquid amino acids, Paul Bragg. It's kind of a soy substitute, tastes good, gives it a little flavor. So we're gonna put chicken in a couple of the wraps. All right, so now, while I'm doing this, I thought I'd tell you a story for fun. Actually, no, there's a purpose. I'm telling you this story because lots of times people ask me questions and I find them personal and I don't want to not answer them. So I came up with this story to explain why I won't answer certain questions. I'm not being rude, it's just there's a reason. So while I do this, which is just work, easy, just takes time, I'm going to talk about Grandma. Now, this is basically an allegorical story. Cucumbers are nice, or carrots are nice, but remember the sugar content. Lots of sugar, so don't use too many. So basically what this is Grandma on her deathbed. She lived a long life. She's in her 90s. Married to the same man for over 60 years. He died a few years ago. So she's on her deathbed, and a granddaughter comes to visit her. This is local broccoli, by the way. You can cook it and it's wonderful, but it's also great raw. Fresh local broccoli is pretty good raw. So she's on her deathbed, and this granddaughter and her were very close. They had some kind of connection from a very young age. And everybody in the family was totally okay with it. Nobody was like, how come Grandma likes her more? I mean, it just, you know what it is. I mean, some people have a different kind of connection. So everybody knew that Grandma wanted to be with her favorite granddaughter, and that was okay. Nobody cared. So they were visiting, just enjoying each other's presence, talking about nothing, holding hands, a before and after picture in time. And then, out of nowhere, the granddaughter says, Grandma, do you have any regrets? Grandma's a little taken back, but she recovers real quickly and says, I'm so glad you asked that. That may be the seed of equivalent benefit to my adversity. Yes, I regret not doing that thing that I imagined doing, desire to do, and knew I could do. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, because it doesn't matter. Don't tell me yours. If you can imagine it, you can do it, and anything you can imagine, you can do. I didn't do it. I sacrificed because culture said that's what I was supposed to do. But no. If you do that thing that you imagine doing, desire to do, and know you can do, you'll give the greatest contribution back to society and get joy in the process. Don't tell anyone about this conversation. Always keep secret everything about your family, your personal life, and your finance. Always keep it secret. And then she said, don't tell anyone about this conversation. And don't tell anyone about that thing. Just do it. Or when you're preparing for death like me, and you didn't do it, you'll regret it. Now, Grandma was, she was at the end, but she looked up and noticed that her granddaughter was quite mesmerized by this talk. Totally not even here. She was like somewhere else. So Grandma reached up with all her remaining energy and grabbed her by the wrist. Somehow she had enough energy to do it. And shook her awake and said her final words, don't do what others do. And that was it. And she fell back. And that was it. So anyway, so now we're gonna make wrap. Now, spinach, local, cleaned, rinsed very well, and chopped up. We're going to make the chicken wrap first. I'm gonna take some almond paste and put it in the bottom. It's gonna be our hold things together. Not too much, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna put a little spinach. I'm gonna put some vegetables. A good mix. Almost forgot. Probably one of the most important ingredients for most people because it adds, it's a natural oil and a natural fat. It's vegetable, but this kind of substance does really help you feel like you ate something. So avocado. This one's beautiful. It's perfect. Some luck involved in that, I think. I mean, you can feel the avocado, you can kind of tell if it's not ripe or overripe. I'm gonna put a full half avocado in this one because it's a big wrap. Okay, now this wrap is basically done, except we're gonna add some chicken because that's what was ordered by my neighbor. She ordered chicken. So here we go. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Now you can get creative. You can put salt and pepper. You can put a dressing, whatever you like. With this one, it's going to be eaten later. So I just wrap it the best I can and wrap it so that it can be eaten without taking it all the way apart. So you just kind of pull down like that, eat it. It's a chicken wrap. Now let's make a wrap that you're gonna eat right now, and that this one is just gonna be vegetables only. So we'll go ahead and put some of this almond paste in there real quick. That's always good. Not too much. Some vegetables. Cucumbers. Spinach. Avocado. Yummy. Little sea salt. Pepper. So this one, person's gonna eat right now. So basically, you just take the wrap, go like that, and eat it like this. I'm gonna take a bite. Yummy. So when we come back, a treat. You're gonna like it. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. Treat time. Everybody has their little treat, sweet tooth, thing they like. Toast, peanut butter. So, I found bread that is gluten-free, wheat-free. My goal would be to find a local bread maker. We'll do that at some point. This is gluten-free, wheat-free rice bread. And peanut butter. You could use any healthy or your favorite spread, whatever it is. Cacao nibs. These are bulk cacao nibs from a local market. You can tell they're high quality because there's no shells in there. The skin on the outside of the bean contains the caffeine. So good nibs won't have those at all. If you see those in there, just pick them out. You don't want to eat those. When they process chocolate, I think they just put it all together. So that's why there's some caffeine in chocolate. So take the nibs, put them in the peanut butter, a little honey, and wow. Wow. My favorite. When we come back, we'll close it out. We'll talk a little bit about what we want to do for Spokane and this show. So we'll see you in a moment. How far down the rabbit hole you wanna go? How far? Nobody knows. The truth is not as it appears to be. When thank you for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. That brings me to the next point. This show is for Spokane, and we coined it a food and health revolution. We're just saying, hey, there's a different way, and we want your help. If you have something to contribute and you're local in Spokane, contact us. We need people to help us with breads that are healthy, treats that are healthy, anything that's healthy, yoga, reflexology, you name it. Contact us. You may have your own show. We'll have you on and we'll have fun. So until next time, aloha.
Are we awake? I wonder. Time only tells our blunder.
We'll talk briefly about music.
Truth is not
what it is. I call it a secret place because nobody really knows about it. But it is a non-profit venture set up for artists of all types. Visual, performing, not just music, not just musicians. Could be painters, sculptors. We have been open for First Friday, and we plan on being involved in First Friday and other events. And how it works basically is any artist could submit a request to the board in writing that they would like to utilize the space, not use, utilize. And then the board will review the request, like let's say they want to have a private concert, or they just want to do some filming here. Anything's possible.